Las Vegas, Nevada with Travis Saunders of Wardley Real Estate. Thanks so much for taking time out of your day and joining me on Real Estate Pros.
Really appreciate you giving the opportunity to be here.
Yeah, awesome. So for those watching that don't know who you are, we'll give you an opportunity to introduce yourself. Obviously, we were talking previously, but how you got into real estate, your background just a little bit.
Okay. So our story begins on a military base in 1970. No, we won't go that far back.
Whoa.
We won't go that far
All right.
back. But yeah, so I moved to the Las Vegas Valley in 1996, and I was transferred here. I was working for a window company. We did construction, supplied windows for residential builders. And so moved out here in 96, and I always joked about the fact that if somebody told me that I was going to be selling windows in Las Vegas, Nevada in high school, I would have told them they're crazy, right? Because Vegas was not that place.
Right.
Not a place to live. It was a place you go to go have fun, right? So when I got the transfer out here, it was awesome. And I spent a lot of years really in the prime time for construction, right? So we had this big uptick forever in construction. And I did that for about 18 years. It was 13 here. And then 2006 came and the economy tanked, and I had to move to Texas for a little bit. So I had to, but I really enjoyed it there. Texas was awesome. I lived in Austin.
What part of town? Oh, Austin area?
In between Austin and San Antonio out on the hill. So it was great because that economy was doing well. And so I supplied windows again for residential builders, and then had an opportunity to come back here to Las Vegas and run a home warranty company. And so I did that for about 6 years. And during that time, I really kind of caught the bug back into real estate. And like I said, I've been in housing my entire life. So this was a natural progression for me to jump into real estate. And I enjoy it. And home warranty was a great gig for a while, did well, was successful. But I was always dealing with people's problems and people's issues.
Right.
And when you resolve those things, it's great, right? But
it's like my AC is broken,
Yeah, exactly right.
You get the problem.
Well, then the AC isn't clean, right? And so then the claim gets denied, and now all of a sudden you're the jerk, right? And that's where it becomes difficult. And so I would have to resolve those issues all the time. And like I said, it was a great gig and enjoyed doing it, but it was nice to transition into full-time real estate, where I get to be on the front end of things, where all the fun stuff is, where I get to help people get into homes. My very first deal was actually a girl that I worked with, and she was a single mom, 2 kids, and didn't ever think that she'd be able to buy a home. And there's nothing like handing the keys to somebody who's in that position. After we've gone through all the trials, and there were a lot of trials in that deal.
Right.
After going through all that, and for her to be able to get into a home and own it as a single lady, single mom, it's just really rewarding.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what's your favorite thing about being in real estate and a real estate agent? Obviously, you've been in real estate in the building and windows and home warranty things, but as a real estate agent, what's your favorite part of the job?
Helping people.
Yeah.
And that's it. My entire life, I've always felt like if you focused on servicing people or serving others, you're gonna get the rewards out of that. Where if you focus on yourself, focus on how much money I can make, or how many people I can get, how many deals I can get done in a year. That's your focus. You might make money, but in my mind, you're not successful.
Right.
You gotta serve people. You serve them, then the money's gonna be a natural progression from there. You're gonna get that.
Right, and I think that's probably part of the issue where people get into real estate thinking that, oh, it's easy money, which it's definitely not. It's a lot of hard work, but then they end up leaving the business because, they don't have the passion, or, their motives aren't quite in there to be able to sustain in a business through the tough times. So how long have you been a real estate agent?
I've had my license for a couple of years. Really only been full-time for a better part of a year, since the end of last summer. Yeah.
Awesome, and you found success pretty early in your career. You've closed several deals already this year. So what things have you been doing that has helped driven your success?
Well, we talked about all the real estate agents. There's 18,000, 19,000 real estate agents in Las Vegas, and on an average month, maybe there's 3,000 sales. So you do the math, and there's a lot of people not producing
Hold on, 3,000 sales
on average, right? So
is that per year?
per month, sorry.
Oh, per month. Okay, I was about to say, I was like,
Yeah.
whoa.
Yeah, but you look at that, like, so look at that number, and then, yeah, so maybe a person closes a couple deals a year. Well, that, you can't
Right,
live off
right.
that. I mean, maybe some people can, I can't. But the thing is, you gotta work. Unless you've been in a situation where you've had a full commission job or something along those lines, you don't realize that there is nobody overlooking you. You have no boss. If you don't do it, it doesn't happen. If you don't produce, if you don't work, it's not going to come to you. There are people that will go out and do an open house, and then they'll get a buyer that very first open house. It happens. It happens all the time. Doesn't happen to everybody. And so that's why you see people that will come in and they'll drop out, because they just don't have the stamina to keep going. And when my first 4 months, I open housed every single day.
Really?
Every single day. I literally was there every single day. I bet you, my first 12 open houses, I didn't have a single person come in. Not one. It was ridiculous. I mean, I was like, what? And I have, hear about these other people in the office that are, getting deals out of their open houses, and I'm like, whoa, what is this deal?
Like,
Right?
it's ghost town over here now.
So, right? So if that's the case, can you survive that? Can you do that? Can you continue? For me, I didn't really want another option. I decided I wanted to be in real estate because everything has pointed me in this direction. I was running the window company at the end. I was running the window company for the last few years here. I was running the window company in Texas. I was running those companies, so I had the history of negotiation. So that part I knew I was solid in. Right? Construction, I knew I was solid in. So new construction homes, those types of things, very easy for me to take people through. I've had a couple of those closings already. So new construction, I can take it through every phase. I actually know a lot of the superintendents. I know the directors of construction in a lot of these places, so I'm able to do that. And then the home warranty means I understand all that back-end stuff, right? The trade contracting stuff. So it helps me with that. So I knew that even though it was tough going at the beginning, that if I just persisted, the deals would come. And it's about developing those relationships with people you already know. You have a sphere of influence that you start with, and maybe you're brand new to Las Vegas, you don't know anybody. But it's through those open houses that you meet people, and then you keep in contact with them. One of the things that Worthy does a very good job at is training people. And through that training, I learned that there's a 9 to 21 month process between when somebody decides that they want to go get a house to where they actually decide they're going to make a decision. Right? So what month did I catch them in?
Right.
Did I catch them in month 1? I can't tell you how many people come to open houses and they go, yeah, we just start looking. Well, what does that mean to me? Like, how long have they been thinking about it for 7 months and now they just started looking? Or, where are we at? So you got to understand, and one of the things that was tough for me to understand was when somebody says, we want to buy a house, that doesn't mean today. That could mean 12 months down the road.
Right.
So to call them one time and then expect them to call you right back, right? That's courteous, but that doesn't mean that's what's going to happen. Well, yeah, I'm going to call that real estate agent back, right? I don't need to call him back, right? So I'm just going to let him go, let his email or whatever else it is, just let it go. And then, if he's really serious, maybe he'll call me back 3 months from now when I'm ready.
Right. So, talking a little bit more about the open houses, obviously you had some initially that were ghost towns. What were those things that you did differently later on to drive more traffic? What are some of those, I guess, not secrets, but things that you did that actually helped people come to your open house?
Well, I acquired more signs, but some of it is, look, there's going to be homes that have more traffic than others, right? So some of it is choice of where you're open housing, but also the time of year helps too, right? So I'm open housing in October, November, December. Fewer people are looking at buying homes during those periods of time, right? So that's part of it as well. But I've had success more recently because of the homes that I'm at, the geography of where I'm putting my signs, how I'm doing that. And then, obviously doing as much as you can prior, marketing-wise, letting people in the neighborhood know that you're having those open houses, putting stuff on Facebook, social media, all that stuff helps out.
Awesome. So you're like a year and a half into it. What advice would you give to a brand new agent that's starting today in real estate to be able to find success like you have?
Persist for certainly, but understand that you have every single day to do this. Yet you have every single day not to do this. So it's very easy to, stay at home and, binge watch Game of Thrones or whatever it is that you want to do. It's very easy to do that because nobody's really, keeping their thumb on you and making sure that you're doing what you need to do. So it's easy to do that. And you can get caught in that and think that business needs to come to you. And I'm a real estate agent and I signed up, I passed my test, I paid my money for my dues, and I should be able to get business. And it just doesn't work like that. People that want to work 25, 30 hours a week and have a tremendous amount of success, it's gonna be very difficult. I can tell you, I'm working 60 plus hours a week, every single week. Every single week. And I have been doing it since the beginning. So I don't expect that to lay off. I know there's plenty of people out there, people that are in my brokerage that have tons of referrals. So all their business is referral business. Well, they don't have to open houses much.
Right.
Doesn't have to happen. But I'm not there yet. I'm newer. Now I've got deals off of referrals already. I've had that success, but I only have a limited amount of people that we've sold to so far. So that success is going to come in the future. And I know that by taking care of my clients the way that I have so far, those referrals will come all the time.
Sure. And obviously you mentioned earlier that there are like 19,000 different real estate agents in the Las Vegas area. So I want to ask, what sets you apart from the agent 2 doors down or?
Well, they're not a number to me. I don't have a single, obviously when it comes down to it at the end of the year, you're gonna say, oh yeah, I had $17 million in volume and I have helped 33 clients, right? So at the end of the year, you're gonna look at it from that perspective. But there's not a single client of mine that's just, oh, I got another deal closed.
Right.
I keep in constant contact with those people at least every other week. Every person that I've closed a deal with, I keep in contact with. And I'm going to continue to keep in contact with them. Make sure the home is going all right. I was dealing with this morning with the guy who's having an issue with hot water to his kitchen faucet. So closed on their house a month ago. And he's calling me and reaching out to me. And oh, by the way, I don't care. That's great. I want them to reach out to me. I want me to be the resource for them always. 10 years down the road, if he's got a conversation that we want to, or he wants to have a conversation about air conditioning, let's have it. We'll talk about it, right? So who should I go to? Who should I talk to about getting this replaced? I can have those conversations, and that's what really sets me apart. Most people can't talk to those things. Career real estate people, love them, they're great, but they can't talk to those things.
Right.
You can only talk to what you know, right?
Right, and with your background in home warranty, I'm sure you know the resources where to find people and
absolutely know where to get
and
deals.
what actually to do it. Exactly.
Yeah, I just love the ability to help people. Like I said, the construction stuff's awesome too. In new construction, I get to walk through every phase. Okay, so this was going to happen next. I go and meet with the superintendent, go and walk through the house. When there's a specific thing they're pointing out and they're not talking about it in layman's terms, I can make the translation between superintendent and client, right?
So, and that's actually a good point because I think some homeowners will just walk into like the model homes unrepresented, thinking that an agent doesn't bring much value when it's a new construction. What could go wrong? So, what are those ways in which an agent does help in representing clients for new home builds?
Well, unfortunately, construction process isn't as smooth as it always should be. And even on the most recent one I closed, great home builder, does a great job, but there are little things here or there. He had a side wall, right? So the side wall was really far back, actually past a window on the side wall, on the side of the house. And everywhere else in the subdivision is pushed way forward, right? So it was a huge discussion. At the end of the day, I said, this isn't acceptable. we need to get that wall moved forward. Because I had contacts that I knew, I was able to continue to push, and we got it pushed forward 12 feet.
Oh, wow.
So well past where it should be, a couple of feet behind the electrical panel, where it should have been. And we were able to get that done, and we were initially told no. So it's through those types of conversations, and again, understanding people, understanding how construction works, knowing that the reason behind this was Summerlin had dictated where they had to put this sidewall fence that had to do with fire access, and understanding that we could move that wall slightly and still fit within the parameters. All of that stuff is stuff that I was able to help and facilitate. So yeah, there's people that walk into a trailer and want to buy a house, or a sales center wants to buy a house. That's great, and they do a good job of making sure that people ultimately are taken care of, but you're not going to get somebody representing you. Who's representing you in that transaction? And there's no reason not to do it. There's no incentive for you not to have an agent. There's incentive for them, for the builder, for you not to have an agent, but there's no incentive for you as a client not to have an agent represent you. So that's what I encourage people that are looking at new builds to do. Find an agent, use them.
Awesome. Well, if somebody watching this is interested in having you help them buy or sell a home in the Las Vegas area, how do people get a hold of you?
They can call me at any point, right? 702-969-6642. My email is catchthevegaswave@gmail.com.
Catch the wave, you surf.
Catch the wave. I grew up Southern California, surfed my entire life, and yeah, that's my brand. So I have catchthevegaswave.com and catchthevegaswave.net. But yeah, it's interesting, right? The Vegas wave, and so it kind of has a double meaning there because the wave of real estate, right? So we're on this wave right now, and it's a pretty good wave right now.
Yeah, it's booming. You know, you got the Raiders coming, a lot of new stuff, and the Golden Knights, they've been doing really well.
Awesome, really awesome. Yeah. So with all the things going on right now, people are worried about the market, and there's just so much opportunity. We expect and anticipate growth at least through the next 3 years. So again, like you said, the Raiders coming, but you also have Resort World opening up. Fontainebleau can get over some of their hurdles. They'll be able to get that construction going again, and a lot of new projects. The MSG Sphere. There's this whole virtual reality thing going on down there where Imperial Palace used to have their car show. There's all sorts of things coming to Las Vegas. So plenty of jobs, and then you know, the biggest thing is construction was number 2 back before we had our big economic downturn, and that's no longer the case here. There's so many other jobs here, a lot of tech industry coming here, a lot of different things happening, job creation happening here, and you know, so there's a lot of opportunity going forward, a lot of growth.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Travis, for joining me today on Real Estate Pros.
Thank you.
And we will see you guys on the next episode.